All right, we're down in Baja. We're gonna go fishing tomorrow out of Cabo San Lucas. We're gonna go maybe 12 to 15 miles offshore, 24-foot Panga. We're gonna try and get some marlin, maybe some yellowfin tuna, see what else we can scrounge up. But the big question is, what lures am I gonna bring? I've got my marlin lures, a tuna will also hit, wahoo will also hit, dorado. I've got all my throwing lures. I think we're mostly gonna troll, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna bring a ton of topwater lures because I love casting bait. So maybe we can get on a fish and then I'll just cast a bait, let him reel in the troller, and I'll get one on topwater. So the big question is, which lures will we bring and which will we leave back in the van? As I go through all my lures, topwater and our trolling baits, I'm deciding which lures are gonna be the most effective, not bringing too many, and also bringing enough that I have a variety to throw at these fish and drag behind the boat. We got to pick some rods and some reels. I'm gonna bring, what is this, a 6.5 foot, and I'm gonna pair it with a Talica 25 that I have upgraded with Boca bearings, the orange steel hybrid ceramics, smoothest bearings in the game. So I'll hook this guy up. On this guy, I might even bring one more Talica 25 also with Boca bearings, and a Tranks, and maybe a Trinidad DC 20, and then maybe a Talica 16, something maybe for pitch bait for marlin or something like that. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna load up my light line setup. I've got an 8-foot light line, Talica 10 2-speed with the Boca orange steel hybrid ceramics inside, 65-pound Spectra, and I'm gonna throw on a 40-pound fluoro top shot. So since I'm from San Diego, of course I tie a San Diego jam knot. You're gonna put the line through the eye of the hook, you're gonna make a loop, start at the top, wrap 6 times all the way back down, then put the tag end through your line, then out the top loop right where you came in at, lick it, pull it tight, cut the tag end, and you're good to go. All right, it's about 6:30 a.m. We're about to load up the Panga right now and get on our way, get some bait right at Los Arches, and then head out around the Pacific side. I know this seems like a lot of gear for one guy, but I like to be prepared. You can't use your gear if it's sitting back in the truck. All right, I just tied on a Rapala. I'm gonna put it back about 30 yards. Let's go. I've got the Rapala taking care of the fish that are below the surface. Now I'm gonna put on this huge 48-inch spreader bar to take care of the fish that wanna hit top water on the troll. Fishing with a large spreader bar like this is super fun. As you can see here, it creates a massive disturbance on the surface, and that plunger bait just scoops a bunch of water and chugs it up every 5 to 10 seconds. It's awesome. So after trolling with the spreader bar and the Rapala out for about an hour, we get no hits. Already I can tell this might be a slow day. So I'm gonna switch it up with some different lures. I'm gonna put this bird on top to create some more chatter and a little bit of a smaller marlin bait on the back and hope for the best. Alright, so I've put out both lures instead of my plan of taking the spreader bar back in. Now as you can see, there's a ton of chatter on the surface. It looks awesome. I'm going to let it back now a bit farther away from the boat and really cross my fingers. Okay, we raised a small marlin and threw out a live mackerel, but no bites. He went down. So we're going to get back to trolling. See if we can get bit on the troll, or we'll clear the spread and just try and pitch a bait to him if we see him. All right, so we got a smaller striped marlin on the surface, thrashing around, getting some bait. We're gonna try and get near it, and I'm gonna try and pitch a mackerel and hopefully he takes it. If you look closely here, there's a flock of about 20 frigate birds working an area. Let's hope there's some fish below. Here's a better look at the greenback mackerel we're gonna be pitching to this marlin. As we get closer to the flock of frigates, one of them is diving and has picked out the marlin that is feeding. We can actually see the marlin feed 40 feet from the front of the boat, We've got our trollers out, but let's try and pitch a bait to it and see what happens. I'm not holding my breath though. So I pitched the bait to the marlin, it didn't take it, but as we look over our starboard beam, we can see a marlin jumping out of the water because it's hooked up to another boat. So good for them, at least we get to watch a show, but I sure do wish it was me instead. Alright, it's been a much slower morning, but we are slow trolling and it's about 12 o'clock. We're starting to see some action on the surface. There's about 4 or 5 other boats that have hooked up. We don't know exactly on what, but we think it's live bait. And now we're cruising into the area where we're seeing at least 2 hookups that are on right now. We need some luck, we need to get bit. Alright, I hate to say it, but sometimes this is how fishing goes. This is the liveliest, largest creature that's been by our Panga all morning. Alright, we've only rented this Panga for 8 hours. It's time to go back in. Unfortunately, we saw marlin, but we didn't hook up on anything. Either way, it was a nice flat day on the water. So I decided to make a couple casts by all the rocks by the shore just to see if I can find maybe a cabrilla to hit it or something like that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go out another day and hopefully it's a lot more productive than this one. And that's exactly what I do. I was in Cabo San Lucas today, but I'm going to go all the way over to the East Cape and see if my luck is any better. Alright, so it's almost 7 in the morning. We're about to head down to the beach and meet our Pongero and go out on the Panga for what looks like a really flat day of fishing. So I don't really know exactly what's out there, but I'm sure cabrilla, Sierra, maybe Dorado are out there. I know that yesterday a 70-pound yellowfin tuna was caught, so maybe we'll get lucky and get one of those. We're gonna jig, we're gonna troll, we're gonna throw some lures and see what we get. Let's head on down. Alright, so I've set up a few rods today. The Tranx 400 HG is going to be my casting rod of the day. It's nice and light, but it's got plenty of power. I've actually replaced the bearings that were stock in here with the Boca bearings, orange seal hybrid ceramic bearings, which make it cast a lot smoother, a lot easier, and a lot longer. So I'm going to add that to the quiver and let's see what we get. So one of the coolest things about Baja launches is there really aren't that many. So you usually take an old 4x4 and you launch the Panga right on the sand and the rocks. It's pretty awesome to see how they do it. They turn the Panga around, they'll drive the 4x4 almost right into the water, they'll stop, they'll turn around, then they're gonna put the bumper of the 4x4 towards the stern of the Panga and actually ram it right into the water, stopping the 4x4 before it goes into the ocean. It's pretty hectic, it's super cool, and it's a great efficient way to get the Panga in the water without having a launch. Alright, so remember that whole tie Rapala thing on and let's go trolling? Let's do the exact same thing and hope we have better luck today. And here's me being super patient waiting for a bite, and here's me being impatient waiting for the exact same bite. Yes, finally the clicker went off. We are on. Can't wait to see what I got. Una cabrilla. Alright, this is a cabrilla sardinera. You can see right up top it's got the little kind of checkers like a calico bass. This is definitely good enough size to eat. I wish it was bigger, but its gills are slashed here. If I let it go, it's gonna die. So let's take this thing off the hooks and eat it. All right, now that we got one fish in, now we got to fix our spread. We had a long daisy chain out and also another Rapala. All right, let's get back to it. We know we're eating tonight. And we're on again. Just skipping bass. Decent size. I'll eat this one. And it looks like the lure of the day is going to be this Rapala. We keep getting hit over and over, and I've got no complaints. And we're on yet again. Wow, well that guy is double handcuffed. I'm going to let that guy go. That guy's a little small. Pretty fun to catch. Great fish. It looks like we're catching all of these cabiria in about, it looks like 35, 40 feet. You can see the sandy bottom, you can see the large boulders. They love just hiding behind the boulders and ambushing prey as they go by. We finally got one on the other Rapala. We were only getting hit on the blue Rapala. Finally we got the green one to go. We got a bonita. Pacific bonito, double handcuffed here with our double trebles. Okay, so we're gonna switch it up and we're gonna do some bottom fishing. There's a nice rock pile here. Let's see what's down there. All right, I literally just hit the bottom and I'm on a fish. Right when the weight hit the bottom, he bit. African pompano. Quiero, para comer, ¿no? Woo! Look at that guy. Basically half rooster, half jack. Check out these. Just like a rooster fish. Now that's a beautiful fish. This is pretty epic bottom fishing, and we've got the perfect bait. These squid were caught last night by Jose with the squid light. Super fresh, good looking bait. Caught them, he put them on ice right away. The only better bait than this is live squid, but I don't think it matters right now, they're just chewing. So with this awesome fresh dead squid bait, we can't help but to catch fish after fish. This next one is locally called a cochito, which is a trigger fish, and a favorite down here for ceviche. Finally, we're getting picked off like 4 times in a row. Vieja, look at that, nice yellow striped vieja. He's a little small, we're gonna throw him back. But what a beauty of a fish, huh? What an awesome day on the water. I got to catch a ton of fish, it was really good weather, and I have a ton of fresh fish that after I fillet is gonna go right into my freezer. Looks like I'm gathering a nice crowd here. I don't think they've ever seen fish filleted before. They're taking pictures and video. All right, I'm back from fishing down here in Baja Sur. What a great day. It wasn't too hot and there wasn't too many waves. Super fun time in the Panga, and what was really cool is I got to try out my new reels that I put the Boca bearings orange sill hybrid ceramics in. What was really cool about that is when you're in a Panga, your freeboard is super close to the water. The Panga that I was in today, maybe 1.5 feet of freeboard. So at sometimes we had a little bit of wind, a little bit of chop that just spit salt water right on my reel quite a few times. So it's nice to know that I've got orange sill hybrid ceramics inside because I have less metal to metal contact. They're gonna be able to service me for a lot longer, especially in harsher conditions or on boats that the freeboard is lower to the salt or just days where it blows. So if you're on a center console, you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't have to blow that hard or have that much chop. You're gonna get salt on your reels, and it's nice to know you can just rinse them off quickly and easily and the reel is still just as good. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.